I was ridiculed, demonized, and vilified in the most outrageous way possible. In the media, online, everywhere. I was called a moron, a dimwit, stupid. I was said to be lacking cognitive skills, half listening, not listening, texting, tweeting, Facebook messaging, and simply not paying attention. I am not stupid. I am a fourth-year honor student. I was not texting nor Facebook messaging. I was paying full attention. I was sitting in the front row, right in front of Professor Johnston. Yes, it was a lecture hall of 450 students, but I was in the front row. I know exactly what I heard. And none of the lies or fabrications that were made up about me or what the professor claims he said is going to change the truth. It was in the first 5 minutes of class that Professor Johnston made his comment during his talk about how opinions can be dangerous. He said, "I happen to hold an opinion, and this is going to offend some of you." I waited to hear if the professor would provide some sort of explanation or follow-up to the unbelievable thing he had just uttered, but he didn't. He just went on to another topic, and that's when I left the lecture hall in disgust. Several other students were equally disturbed by Cameron Johnston's reprehensible comment and met with me the next day to discuss it, but they were too afraid to come forward publicly. When university officials met with me and my mom, what they said in that office was in shocking contrast to what was put out to the media. They said they met with the professor that morning and that he was extremely apologetic and regretful. They said the professor intended to use the statement as an example of an unacceptable opinion, but that he blew the presentation and that they were sure he will rethink how he frames his comments in the future. They said the professor even told them, had he been the student, he would have perceived his remarks the exact same way I did. They told me they would encourage the professor to issue a public apology within 24 hours. It turned out that instead of an apology, York University chose to launch a personal campaign against me through the media. In a Toronto Star article, the reporter branded me as a half-listening student, among other things. He fabricated content and deliberately misquoted me as saying I misunderstood the context of the professor's comment, which I had never said, and distorted whatever I said to fit what seemed to be his own agenda. Most disturbing of all, a spinned and cleaned up version of the professor's statement appeared as fact in the article. Suddenly, the abhorrent words in question were quoted with the missing qualifiers that the professor had excluded when making the statement in class. This is the version the whole world knows, or thinks they know, thanks to every subsequent article and blog that was based on this one propagandized Toronto Star article. The professor said that he's Jewish too, but honestly, what self-respecting Jew uses that kind of repulsive statement even just as an example? And on top of all that, there's CIJA. CIJA claimed to have done a thorough investigation. They claimed they spoke to me to find out what happened, but they never did. Without ever speaking to me or contacting me, they released a statement absolving the professor of any wrongdoing and called the whole thing a student misunderstanding. What ever happened to a fair investigation? Shockingly, they absolved the professor even before the university did. You have to wonder why they would do this. Then the Canadian Jewish News came out with an article loaded with fabrications. In the article, the president of Hillel claims he calmed me down and encouraged me to go through the proper channels. I have never even met Zach Lipnatsky, the president of Hillel. And CIJA claimed in the article that they reached out to me and spoke to me several times, which is completely untrue. They never spoke to me, not even once. So what does this all mean for Jewish students on York campus? It's a gloomy answer. Who in their right mind will ever report anything now that what's happened to me is the threat looming over all students? York, together with CIJA and the media, think they have won this round, but they didn't. Not as long as students refuse to be silenced.